So Will Smith has been banned from the Academy for 10 years for slapping Chris Rock during the Academy Awards, where he won an Oscar for Best Actor for portraying King Richard. Some people say it's excessive. I think that's not punishment for slapping Chris Rock. Not being able to go to an award show for 10 years, that's not punishment. That seems as though it's something that the Academy can say, look, we did something. But at the end of the day, Chris Rock was slapped in the face in front of 52 million people or more. And that's not punishment for slapping him. So he won't get an opportunity to dress up in a $15,000, $20,000 tux and have his wife put on a $40,000, $50,000 gown, designer gown, and bring his children and his family, his team, his staff to the Oscars for 10 years. And what are we supposed to feel? Boo-hoo? We're supposed to cry for Will Smith? And I don't think that he should have had his Oscar taken, because he did a great job of portraying Richard Williams. As I stated in the earlier video, that North Louisiana dialect that Richard Williams has, it's not easy for somebody from Philly or anywhere to adopt. That's not easy. He did a great job of portraying Richard Williams. But I don't think that him not being able to attend the award ceremony for 10 years is punishment. And I know some people say, well, that's excessive. I don't know that it's excessive or not. I just think that it's not appropriate. It's not addressing the real issue. And the real issue is that he assaulted Chris Rock. And we haven't heard from Chris yet, so we don't know what Chris would like to see happen. But I'm just not crying any tears for Will Smith, because he's not going to be able to attend the Oscars for 10 years because he was so out of line for slapping Chris Rock. And I have more respect for Chris Rock than I ever had. He's a better man than my husband, because whether we were at the Oscars or not, wherever we were, my husband wouldn't have been able to maintain his composure on the job if another man walked up and slapped him in the face in the presence of other people, 52 million other people, at that. So, it's just all kind of odd for me. It's weird. It's actually highly weird for me. But the whole thing is just weird, because as I stated before, there's no way I would have sat there calmly and let my husband make a fool of himself like that. There's just no way. I would have stepped on his foot. I would have put my hand between his elbow and his forearm. I would have said, where are you going? The bathroom is over there. Dude, it's not commercial break yet. I would have called his full legal name. Willard Carroll Smith, where are you going? I would not have let that man walk up on that stage and made a fool of himself and embarrass me like that because of a joke. It wasn't that offensive of a joke to me. And that's not how you handle, being offended, if that's what you were. And there should have been some space after that show for Chris to say, for Will to say, hey, Chris, Jada didn't like the joke. And, Chris could have apologized if that's what he chose to do. But really, looking at it from the outside looking in, that wasn't a bad joke. I've heard Chris Rock perform. He can be offensive. It wasn't that bad of a joke. I know there's been a lot of talk about their marriage and, I mean, who could have predicted a lot of things that, we've learned about the Smiths? And I like to stay away from their marriage because, I just don't understand it. Being a married woman with, one husband, not a perfect marriage, but, a married woman with a husband. I don't understand their definition of marriage, and I don't have to. Whatever fits them, that's fine with me. But I know my husband would never have allowed a man to enter my house, his house, our house, to lay in a bed with me. Oh no, baby, it would have been some smoke in the city. That just wouldn't have happened. Either we are a married couple and we're together or we're not. That's just how, we operate in this relationship. That was very egotistical to think that you could walk up on a stage and slap somebody in the face in front of all those people on a live show just because you were upset about a joke. That's very egotistical. The question to me is, has he done as much work on himself that he said he's done? And I know he's a work in progress. We all are a work in progress. But it just seems like there's so many contradictions there as far as the work that he's done on himself. Because after, therapy and the summary of the book Will that he wrote with the help of Mark Manson, it says that Will is a man who has mastered his emotions. If he's mastered his emotions, emotionally, he should have been able to sit there with a little bit of discomfort about a joke and went on with his night. Because at the end of the day, it was just a joke. It may have stung for 30 seconds. You could have laughed it off because you did laugh. Both of you, laughed. And you could have not allowed that to ruin your night. But instead, you charge up on stage and slap Chris Rock. I tell you, Chris Rock is a better man than a lot of men would have been in that position, in that setting, under those circumstances. It could have gone very left had it been any other man standing there. It could have gone very left, and just imagine what those headlines would have looked like. Imagine what that, punishment in quotation marks would have looked like. Imagine, what that would have done to, both of the participants' careers to act a fool like that. And instead of us talking about how great Will was in King Richard, we're talking about him slapping Chris Rock. Nobody's talking about Questlove and his Oscar. Nobody's talking about Samuel Jackson and others. It's the same thing with the Grammys. Leading up to the Grammys, nobody talked about John Batiste, my Louisiana, New Orleans homeboy. Congratulations, John. Nobody was talking about, him. Everybody was talking about Kanye West. It's always the nonsense that overshadows the good, sometimes. So I hope everybody has a great weekend. I am on the road. I'm headed to Biloxi, Mississippi to do some work, and then Jackson. And then I'm going to Sweetie Pies to eat some stuff I have no business eating. And then I'm going to take my allergy medicine and pass out.